Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute, it really has. I took an unintentional hiatus before the last video, and then I also took another unintentional hiatus before this one. So yeah, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali. Oh god, what is my intro? My name is Ali. I talk to myself about books, and someone, maybe you, may or may not watch this at a later date. So welcome. I obviously bring you another book haul because it's been a couple of months since I've filmed anything, and I've had these boxes sitting here waiting to be unboxed, and these are also just some loose books I've hauled. So let's get started. That was literally the worst intro I have ever filmed. I don't remember how to do this. But anyway, so here we have a pile of books. You can't really see it because I'm sat on the floor. There is also some boxes, and I'm going to show you them. So these are recently hauled books and also recent subs that have come in from Illumicrate, Broken Binding and Fairy Loot. I do have one Fairy Loot missing because I skipped last adult box and then I skipped this month's adult box. Well, I couldn't skip this month's adult box, so I just agreed with someone to send it to them when it arrived instead, so I sold that one. The last two adult books have been like romantasies, and I cancelled the romantasy subscription because I wasn't really vibing with many of those choices, so with many of those picks, so I just wasn't really overly interested in the two that were out the past couple of months for the adult sub, so I have cancelled it. But this is the epic one that's here. I'm quite excited for that. Anyway, we'll start with the loose books and then we'll do some unboxing. Okay, so first of all, I got the next installment of the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. So this is Before We Forget Kindness by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I got this from an independent bookstore in Guildford. A cute little look at that store. And yeah, and they also had some signed book plates, so I now have a signed version, well, I will stick it in my Before the Coffee Gets Cold, of this book series, which I'm very excited about. So for those of you who don't know, this is now I think a 5-book series. I think there's another one out in hardcover, but I think there's others planned as well. It essentially follows this like magical cafe where you can visit people that you love in the past or the future. However, you've only got until the coffee that you are poured by the owners gets cold to actually see them, and you can only meet them if they have also visited the cafe at some point. You can't change the past or the future, you can't like do anything, and if you don't come back before the coffee gets cold, you'll become a ghost. So it's really cute. It's very like heartwarming and heart-wrenching at moments. It's just like usually about 4 little short stories that follow 4 different characters as they go to the cafe and meet various different people that they loved or missed, etc. And yeah, I'm a sucker for this like cozy Japanese translated fiction, so definitely had to get the next one. Next, to stay on theme with the green, I also got this from the independent shop in Guildford. This is Unworthy by Agustina Bastarrica. This is the same author that did, why is my mind going blank? Tender is the Flesh, which I really loved. It's over here somewhere. And also she did 19 Claws and a Blackbird, which was like a collection of short stories, but I loved both of those books. This is her newest release and I couldn't wait to get it. Also, it's got green sprayed edges. It reminds me of like Goosebumps. I don't know, well, maybe like growing up in Italy, Goosebumps had these edges like this like lime green, toxic green, don't really know what you call it, so it kind of reminded me of that, which is really cool. But anyway, I've heard mixed reviews about this one, but I'm really excited to read it myself, and I do really love the writing style of the author, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy it. I'll quickly read you the blurb so you also know what it's about. In the house of the sacred sisterhood, the unworthy live in fear of the superior sister's whip. In an atmosphere of tense rivalry and threat, they plot against each other and wait to see who will ascend to the level of enlightened and who will suffer the next exemplary punishment. Risking her life, one of the unworthy keeps a diary in secret. Slowly, memories surface from a time before the world collapsed, before the sacred sisterhood became the only refuge. Then Lucia arrives. She too is unworthy, but she is different, and her presence brings a single spark of hope to a world of darkness. I mean, it sounds good to me, so quite excited to read this. Also, I love the like always pack a punch, but they're always short, which is good as well because I need a bit of short reads in my life. Next we have A Forbidden Alchemy. This was like all over the place when it first came out in hardcover, and I heard nothing but good things about it, so I was quite intrigued. This is by Stacey McEwen. I did wait until the paperback came out, and I actually pre-ordered the paperback, so it's now arrived, and I am quite intrigued to get into this. I don't know if I'm going to wait until after summer because I feel like it gives more like autumn vibes, and I think also this is a romantasy, but one that sounds good. So again, I'll quickly read you the blurb of this one so you can know what it's about. So Nina Harrow and Patrick Coulson are only 12 years old when they are whisked from the disenfranchised mining towns to dazzling Bellevue City to test for magical abilities. Together they discover a devastating secret. Artisans aren't born, they're chosen. With this information they part ways. Patrick returns to his family of craftsmen while Nina rises as one of the most powerful artisans. When a revolution begins years later, Nina is captured by Patrick's rebel group. Battling the spark between them, she agrees to help him with his mission against Bellevue City. But when Nina's first love appears, asking her to betray Patrick for the artisans, she faces an impossible choice that will determine the fate of their world forever. I've heard good things about this, and I've heard there's like good magic system, good plot, so I'm very hopeful, and I really hope it doesn't disappoint. Next, I've actually already read this book, but I ended up getting rid of my Fairy Loot special edition. This is Rose in Chains by Julie Soto, which is a rewritten Dramione fanfic, and I believe the original one, was it The Auction? Or was this not the one? I think this one was. Again, I enjoyed the book enough that I want to continue the series, or I can't remember if it's a duology, but I didn't enjoy it enough to keep the Fairy Loot special edition. And also I wasn't the biggest fan of the colour scheme of the Fairy Loot special edition. I'll put it here. Just the kind of like muted dusty reds and greys weren't really something I enjoyed, although the art was gorgeous. Just the colour scheme was not for me. And when I saw that the paperback was coming out and it is gorgeous, I was like, you know what, I liked it enough to have the book as a trophy and to continue reading the series, and this version is just stunning, so I obviously ordered it. Yeah, again, good. I quite enjoyed this when I did read it, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. Next, one of my favourite authors, we've got We Burned So Bright by TJ Klune. This is one of his latest releases. I have all of his books. I love them. I've also read a bunch of the ones that he wrote like in indie published that you can't actually find physically anymore, but I have read them, and I'm now just slowly collecting them because I love everything he's written so far. So he tends to write a lot of like magical realism with a hint of romance. It's always like queer romance, which is quite refreshing in some ways. I've not really read that many books that center around queer romance, and I do just love all of his books so much. The main element in all of them is found family, which is hands down one of my favorite tropes of all times, or subgenres. I don't even know what you want to say, what you want to call it, but I absolutely adore his writing. So obviously when this came out, I got it, and I got it in hardcover because it's worth it. So this one is a very short read compared to some of his other books, but I'm very excited. After 40 years together, husbands Don and Rodney are out of time. A rogue black hole is coming for Earth, and in a month, everything and everyone they've ever known will be gone. Suddenly, there is a race against the clock to make it from Maine to Washington State and take care of some unfinished business before the end of the world. On the road, they meet those who refuse to believe death is coming and those who rush to meet it. But there are also people living their final days as best as they know how, impromptu weddings, shared meals, and new friends. And as the black hole draws near, among ball lightning and under a cracked moon and a kaleidoscope sky, Don and Rodney will look back on their lives and ask if the best was good enough. I just know it's going to make me cry. He always makes me cry. So I am very much looking forward to this, and I'm already sad. Okay, and then last month, or at the beginning, what month are we in? Yes, end of April, start of May, I went to Bologna, which is in Italy, for a few days, and I obviously could not be in Italy and not pick up a couple of Italian books while I was there. So we did end up going into a couple of bookshops, but first of all I'll just show you a little bit about the town because it was lovely. Yeah, and we ended up in a bookshop, as I said, and there was a book that I was really looking forward to getting and that I have been waiting to go back to Italy to get because I cannot find it anywhere for like a reasonable price in terms of the shipping, etc. And that is Il sangue degli immortali, which means the blood of the immortals. This is book 2 in a series, a fantasy series, epic fantasy, that is kind of steeped in Sardinian folklore and mythology, and it is based in Sardinia. And for those of you who don't know, Sardinia is like my favorite place on earth. So I read the first book a couple of years ago, really enjoyed it, and I've been waiting for the second book to be out, which it now is, and I've been waiting to get my hands on it, which I now have. So I'm very excited to continue on with this series. I feel like I might have to reread the first one because there is quite a few characters. I think it's like a 3 or 4 POV story, at least 3 I think, so I might have to reread it before I read this one, but I remember really enjoying it, and I can't wait to pick this one up as well, and I might take it to Sardinia with me when I go on holiday later this year. And then, since we were in Bologna, which is the capital of this region of Italy, so Emilia-Romagna, I decided to get a book in dialect. So this book follows a lot of like Italian fables. So you've got things like Cinderella, you've got Snow White, etc, etc, and so classic Italian fairy tales, but it's them written in dialect from this region on one side and then in standard Italian on the other. Now, I did grow up in this region. I say did grow up. I spent my childhood in this region. This is where I was born. However, my parents were not from this region, and I never learned the dialect in super in depth, so I'm quite intrigued to like read it. And it is, when I say dialect, I don't mean like in England when you've got like the odd words that's different, or it's broadly like accents. It's literally like sometimes a whole other language, and you can't really understand it unless you're from there. So quite excited to read these. And also there are so many like fairy tales that I didn't realize were Italian to begin with. Cinderella I knew was maybe like from Naples, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, super excited to read this, and it will be a lovely like reminder of the trip we took to Bologna. Next we've got unboxings. So we have 2 of the subs from my Lumacrate. We have the SSF sub from, so the new one from Broken Binding, and we've got the Epic Fantasy pick from Fairy Loot. So we'll start with this one because it's on the top of the pile. And the spoiler card for this month was, this is the quarterly one, was marked for murder, and I have heard good things about this book, so I'm quite excited. It also looks gorgeous. I love the theme that they keep doing for these books. But let me just show you. I did have a sneak peek. I couldn't wait. Okay, so here we have ta-da! So More to Dance Peril by R.J. Barker. And I love this like inky, like sketchy watercolor type drawing vibes. Like the past couple of books have been like that as well, from Fairy and from Illumicrate. So really enjoyed the way it looks. I love the sprayed edges, like they are just so pretty. And I haven't actually seen, okay, this is the, I haven't actually seen the inside. This is the reverse dust jacket, which I think is like the original, might be a slightly different colorway, I don't really remember. And this is the naked hardback, and it is stunning. Like, I love that. And the blue foiling, amazing. Like, there is nothing I enjoy more than a like sketched out gothic looking building, but can we just... And then the end papers as well, gorgeous. It's given Broken Binding vibes in terms of the art style, and you know how much I love Broken Binding. Love it, love it. Super excited to read this, and it's signed by the author. And yeah, again, I've heard quite good things about this book, so hopefully I will enjoy it. I have to say I haven't, whoopsie, read any of the epic fantasy picks yet, but I will. So, or have I? No, I haven't. Mortadon can speak to the dead, and Iridy Hasp is the greatest of them. Not that they'll admit it, and not that anyone actually likes the Mortadons, or Iridy in particular. Nonetheless, Elbay is a city for tradition, and tradition calls for Mortadons to attend a death. But when Iridy reads the corpse of a low-level record keeper, he's dragged into a conspiracy that will see someone close to him murdered and Iridy flamed for the crime. The eyes of the city's guilds, nobles and villains, all fixed on him. With only days to prove his innocence before he is executed, Iridy is forced to work with unlikely and unwanted allies, a street urchin and a hulking inhuman mercenary from the sea people's city of Oknushsoka. With danger and death lurking around every corner and trust of luxury, Iridy is running out of time. He must save himself and his friends, as well as Elbay, the magnificent, terrifying, complicated city that he loves, or darkness will fall on all of them. It sounds quite interesting. It sounds like a bit of a found family mismatched troop save the world quest type vibe, you know, like very Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm all for. So yeah, excited for this one. I'll do Broken Binding next, and then I'll do the 2 Illumicrate boxes. So the next Broken Binding, I already unraveled it because it was going to take forever otherwise. So this month's theme, so this is the SSF one, which is the one where it's like kind of more newly released, new authors, etc., not their completed series. We haven't actually received the series for the last couple of months, which is meant to be the John Gwynne series, because they decided to make some upgrades to the books, so they were sent back to the printer and we haven't had a chance to like receive any of them yet, but I believe we're going to get all of them at once, like at the end of June maybe, or at the end, or maybe we'll start getting them like now. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, so this is the SSF one, and I believe this month was it sci-fi or was it fantasy? I don't remember, but anyway, the theme was ghostly memories. I think I know what this book is and I'm quite excited for it. I think it was also a pick for another sub box. I'm just gonna unwrap it really unceremoniously. Okay, oh my god, I love it. This is like so different from the original cover. So this is The Girl with 1,000 Faces by Sunny Dean. And can we just, like, I'm obsessed with this. Oh. And the edges, so cool. So every single moment we are undergoing birth and death. This is just stunning. Oh, okay, so this is the original cover. As you can see, very different. This is a different colorway to the original, but that's what it looks like in terms of the art. I actually love both of them, but this new completely reimagined cover is gorgeous. Then we've got some stunning end paper art, and you know, I've already mentioned it once this video, the end paper art in Broken Binding books editions are just, it's just insane, and I love everything about it. like. And then we have a foiled naked hardcover, which is stunning. And then we have here, then death arrives like a sudden breeze and blows your spirit clean away. So again, I'm very excited for this one. I have a feeling it is Asian based, yes. So 1975, Hong Kong. Do you like ghost stories, little sister? Sit down, get comfortable. You haven't heard this one before. Mercy Chan is a triad exorcist with a mysterious past. After washing up on the shores of Hong Kong with no memory during World War II, she found a home in Cold War walled city, an infamous ghost-infested slum full of lost and traumatized civilians. Since the war ended, Mercy has rebuilt her life and has found work as a ghost talker for the local triad, dealing with the angry and bitter spirits who haunt this place. Oh, okay. So I also like this one. We're talking to ghosts. We're talking to dead people. Okay. But the past she can't remember won't let her go. An unusually powerful ghost lurks in Kowloon's waterways, drowning innocents and threatening the district. Unnervingly, it claims to know Mercy and her forgotten childhood. As Mercy is drawn into a deadly cat-and-mouse game with this malignant spirit, she begins to realise that the monsters she fights within these walls may very well be one of her own making. A breathtaking historical fantasy where ancient myths and local legends combine in a story of ghosts, grief, and women who will not forgive. Very excited. This actually sounds super good. Maybe I'll add it to my June TBR. We'll see. Making bold claims. Okay, and then we finally have the June and the May Illumicrate crate boxes, which I have yet to open. So here we go. Okay, so this is, okay, this was, no, not June, not at all. So this is May and April's. Okay, this is April's theme. So the theme was fairy bargains. These is the spoiler card in case you want to see. I say spoiler card, it's all spoilers now anyway, but let's have a look. Okay, we've got our next mug, which is Wayward Realm, and that's inspired by, let me just check. Yeah, inspired by Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia Theories, which I haven't read yet, but it is on my radar and I've heard good things about it. But also I can't get another series. I can't excuse getting another series yet. Now, I love these mugs. They are so cute. And my partner is hating on me because they're taking up so much space, but I don't care. Like, I want them all. And this is gorgeous. Love it. Oh, look at the cat and the crow. It is so cute. Very excited to have this one. Okay, then we have Fae Enchantment stamp washi tape inspired by Law of the Wilds, These Hollow Vows, and The Rose Bargain. Now, I've read These Hollow Vows and I've also read Law of the Wilds. I haven't read Rose Bargain, but now I don't use washi tape, but it is cute. Maybe I need to learn how to use it. So I don't know which one's which. But I guess they've got like buildings on it, which is cute. I'll add it to my other washi tape stack. Maybe I'll eventually use it when I use some of those journals that I also have, that I have yet opened. Okay, I needed a new oven glove, so very excited. This is the Twisted Bargain oven glove inspired by the courting of Bristol teats. I won't open it because I might just save it until we've moved house. But you can see it's very pretty. I like that. And then Fairy Bookshelf Cross Stitch Bookmark Kit. Ooh, okay. Something for me to do. Okay, that's adorable. Okay, so this is to make your own cross-stitched bookmark, which I never have too many bookmarks. And I do like cross-stitching. It's quite like therapeutic. However, the past few times I've just done like massive projects and my ADHD will not allow me to finish something that long term. So this is probably more up my alley because it's quite small and I think I might actually be able to finish it. So yeah, looks adorable. It's like a little bookshelf and I'm actually quite excited for this. Okay, yeah. Okay, and then we finally have the book, which I've also heard good things about. So quite excited. Now, I haven't seen this at all yet. Okay, so here we have Thistle Marsh by Moria Corrigan. It is a stunning redesigned cover. I'll put the original up here, which is also quite pretty, and it's kind of more in line with the spoiler card vibes, like this kind of color scheme. But yeah, this looks gorgeous. Sprayed edges, beautiful. Other side. And then, oh wow, okay. I love this. It's very like medieval looking. Like, love it. And end paper art. Beautiful. See the back end paper art. Oh yeah, we've got different end papers on the other side. Amazing. I don't actually know what this is about. I've just heard good things. So, in the wake of World War One, the world is a decidedly unmagical place. Mouse Dunn once dreamed of becoming a fairy anthropologist, but with one telegram her world shattered. At the Somme, her cousin Bertie's body disappeared into the mud, and her brother Roger came home with devastating shell shock. It was time, she knew, to put aside childish dreams. The mouse receives news that her uncle has left her Thistlemarsh Hall, a crumbling manor in the English countryside once blessed by the Fairy King himself. But there is a catch. If Mouse does not rehabilitate the house in 1 month's time, she will forfeit the inheritance and any hope of caring for her brother. It looks impossible until a mysterious fairy appears with a proposition. Mouse knows better than to trust a fairy, especially one so insufferably handsome and arrogant, but she is out of options. There are wild and magical forces at work in the house, and Mouse must confront the ghost of her past or lose everything. Okay, it does sound intriguing. I don't know when I'm going to pick this up. I'm not currently probably in the mood to pick up this kind of read, but it does sound good. I am quite excited, and I think maybe like late summer will be a good time for this, so I might save it until then. And final box, and my back is hurting sitting on the floor like this, I'm not gonna lie. So this is the most recent Lumicrate box, which is May theme, and I've been so looking forward to this one. So this is Fatal Fortunes. That was the theme. This is a spoiler card. I think you can tell from just this what the book is going to be, and I'm super excited for it. So let's have a look what we have here. Okay, so we've got a Stuck Behind the Gates sticker book inspired by Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. And this is cute. I think, let me just open it. I think sticker book means it's like one of those ones that like the pages, like you can stick and re-stick stickers on it. But let me just check. Also, then I get to see the design properly. Yeah, so it's got like kind of shiny pages, so you can stick stickers on it and then you can re-stick them and it won't like ruin the stickiness. I don't really know if I use these because I tend to stick my stickers on with glue tack because it's too much of a commitment for me to stick them on with anything more permanent than that. So it is gorgeous though. Maybe I'll repurpose it for something else, or I will actually just stick all my stickers in here and just have an album of stickers, who knows. But it is pretty. Right, next we have, oh okay, this is why. So Bound by Blood sticker set, which is inspired by this month's book. I won't spoil it just yet. But oh okay, these are pretty. So it's a bunch of different like dragon stickers, and there are 5 different ones. Very pretty. Oh, there's a cat as well. Okay, so there's 3 dragons, a cat and a fox. Very pretty. Okay. You have my interest peaked further than it already was. And then we have a Favoured Contenders pendant keyring inspired by the Raven Scholar. Now you know the Raven Scholar was one of my favourite reads of last year. I actually got to meet Andrea Stewart earlier this year and got to hear all about like her writing process and what the next book is kind of going to be like, and I'm super excited. But again, I might save this until we move house and have it as my new keychain. So here we have the Raven. And then we have the fox. So if you don't know, the second book is called The Fox in Winter. Very excited. It's coming out in October 2027, which is a while away yet, but I'm sure it's going to be absolutely worth the wait. And this is just so beautiful. I love a usable item. I've said this a million times before. So key rings, there's magnetic magnets. Love magnetic magnets. Magnetic metal magnets are also cool. And then, oh my god. Okay. This is Divine Omens book jacket inspired by The Night and the Moth, another of my favourite reads from last year. Okay, this is actually maybe my favourite one so far. I cannot even. This is so beautiful. Oh, this is like everything I loved about The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh my god. Okay, well, that's probably my favourite item, so there's that. And then we have the actual book, which again I might try to sneak into my June TBR because I'm very excited for this. Actually, I think we've picked it for like my friend book club that we've all got Illumicrate Crate things, so I think we will. Okay, so this is obviously Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter, which is actually a duo writer. So we've got Katie Ellis Brown and Becky Hunter who wrote this book together. This is a completely reimagined cover and I love it. I absolutely love it. Wait a minute. Okay, this is the first time I think Illumicrate Crate's done a reverse dust jacket. So that's the original, but it's a different colorway. So the original is like more red and blue. And then we've got, as I said, this completely redesigned cover, which I'm obsessed with and will not be swapping around. We then have the Naked hardback, which has a polar bear and a, I don't know, Arctic fox on the back. And then this panther with wings and a cat on the front. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Then we have some beautiful end papers. And they're different on the back. I presume those are our love interests. And I'm sorry, but this, stunning. Very, very excited for this. So I believe it's a dual POV story and each one of the authors like wrote one of the POVs. So hopefully that means we actually get like a kind of a good sense of them being like completely different personalities. So Astrid has always known she is destined to die. She is the last Naxtern witch and heir to the queendom of Arturia, cursed to draw her rival from the kingdom of Vatra for the source of all magic. She only has her familiar, her potions and her wits to aid her. Her opponent, Prince Zrian, damn, has a massive hell-damned dragon. She's going to die, and the chance to cure the blight ravaging her queendom will die with her. Deep in the dragon country, blade juggler Skylar is searching for her best friend, who she fears has been taken into the king's conscription for those with blooded powers. She despises the royal, but the path to find him may take her closer to them and the witches than she would like. As a duel looms, Skylar and Astrid's fates intertwine, forcing them to choose between loyalty and survival in a world where every decision could lead to ruin. Okay, so I'm actually quite excited about this. I've heard good things and I've heard that the end of this is like a massive cliffhanger and I'm quite excited for that. Okay, so I mean, I think this is hands down my favourite item and this is my favourite of the two books. Okay, I am now going to stop and wrap this up because my back is hurting. But that was quite a fun book haul. I might do it more often where like I just keep them on a side unwrapped for a couple of months if I have the patience, which I don't always have. But yeah, very, very excited for a lot of these books and I'm going to try and see what I can sneak into my June TBR. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do pop a like, and if you would like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon.